Genius Kids. Cultivating love for learning.
Lesson 8. Resources. Knowledge acquisition. The materials in the Earth's crust and its domains, lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere, are referred to as resource. Resources are those means by which a country can progress and march forward to compete with other nations. These means are necessary for supporting life and for economic development. Therefore, the study of resources involves man's relationship with environment, which is original source of all types of resources. How humans add value to resources? By definition, anything that we can use to meet and satisfy our needs is a resource. They are obtained from our environment either directly or by application of human skills and technology. Human beings, by means of their skills, add value to resources which they need. Most natural resources become useful only when value is added to them. 4 types of value addition related to resources are economic, legal, aesthetic, and ethical. This value addition brings the resources to usable or developed stage. It is at this stage that resources command a price. For example, iron ore as such may have no economic value to an ordinary user, but when iron ore is changed into usable iron, it commands a price or becomes economically useful. Clean Air Act is an example of legal value attached to air, nature's free gift. An example of aesthetic value addition to a resource is a holiday resort. People enjoy the beauty of nature or wilderness only when they have a place to stay, rest and eat comfortably. Ethical value refers to certain moral precepts. Man is regarded as a rational creature. He obtains certain moral precepts. He obtains certain virtues by living in harmony with nature as well as with other fellow beings. Sometimes even moral duty is put above happiness. It is because of this responsibility that man thinks of conservation of natural resources. Today, the ethical value of resources is of great importance. The resources which have legal, ethical and aesthetic value are also called non-utilitarian resources. Characteristics of resources. Thus, a material can be called a resource if it satisfies the following conditions. 1. It can be transformed into a useful thing. 2. It exists in sufficient quantity to be exploited for use. 3. It has certain properties. Man can acquire technology and skills to use material as a resource only if he knows its properties. Factors affecting the use of resources. The level of economic development and the quality of life depends on an efficient and wise use of resources. Some important factors which affect the development and efficient use of resources are: 1. Skills and technology. The use and value of resources depends on technology and human skills. 2. Cost. The costs involved in development, extraction and transportation form the most critical components affecting the use of resources. 3. Transport and communication. Many areas on the earth are still inaccessible. Transport and communication play an important role in covering the areas. For example, Siberia in Russia has resources in plenty, but due to the lack of transport and communication, these resources cannot be exploited. It is only recently that human settlements have come up in some parts of Siberia. 4. Adequate deposits. Resources can be exploited commercially only if adequate deposits are available at a place. For example, iron ore deposits in Chot Nagpur area can be exploited on commercial lines because adequate deposits and other required materials are available in that area. 5. Industrialization. Industries make use of resources as raw materials and turn them into useful products. Developing countries lacking industrialization use primitive methods and obsolete technology as well as worn-out machinery and produce inferior quality resources that are quite expensive. 6. Time. The value of resources also changes with time. If it does not change, it may make a resource redundant. For example, people in northern New England, USA used pine tar and tall timber for constructing houses and to develop settlements. With the passage of time, these resources were used by the English Navy for shipbuilding. Other factors like specialization, trade, international availability of motive power like electricity also affect development and use of resources. For example, a small country like Japan is today an industrial giant. She specializes in some chosen fields like motor cars and now in textiles too. Types of resources. The resources can be classified in different ways based on their characteristics. Their classification is shown below. Based on origin. Based on origin, the resources can be classified into natural and human resources. Human beings add value to natural resources and make them useful. Therefore, we need to treat human resources as a part of the same system. 1. Natural resources, all gifts of nature which are useful in making the life of human beings comfortable and worth living are known as natural resources in Kola. They include natural vegetation, soil, water, air, minerals and even rocks. These can be of two main types, biotic and abiotic. A. Biotic resource. These are living resources like forests and forest product, crops, animals, birds, marine life, etc. B. Abiotic resources. These are material resources or non-living things. Minerals and power responses are abiotic resources. These resources can be exhausted by excessive use of it. 2. Human resources. These are the human beings who are made valuable through education, training, experience and many other ways so that they are capable of making use of other resources efficiently. Human resources do not merely mean the number of people living in an area but how the people possess required skills, education and knowledge to develop other resources. Obviously, too many human beings without adequate skills, education and training make a nation poor and may prove a drag on other natural resources. Based on renewability. Depending renewability, there are two types of resources, renewable and non-renewable. 1. Renewable resources. Resources which can be renewed by reproduction are called renewable resources. They do not get exhausted. Renewable resources are water, forests, soils, etc. This renewability is possible only under certain conditions. Some trees may also take longer time to grow. For example, it takes between 50 to 200 years for a tree to grow in a forest. Availability of fresh and pure water in a river may be obtained under certain conditions of environment. 2. Non-renewable resources. These resources get exhausted after use. Resources which cannot be replenished are fossils such as petroleum, gas, coal and other minerals. They are available in fixed quantities. These resources once exhausted cannot be replaced. The rapid growth of population creates pressure on such resources. Do you know? The latest data available indicate that the world's oil resources will not last beyond the century. Based on utility. Based on their use and utility, resources are classified into energy resources and raw materials. 1. Energy resources, coal, gas, petroleum, water, Power and even certain minerals like uranium are used to generate electricity or as fuels for transport vehicles. 2. Raw material, minerals, vegetation, agricultural products, animals, etc. form raw materials for production of goods. Even coal, gas, petroleum, which are mainly used as energy resources, may also be used as raw materials for production of chemicals, fertilizers, etc. Based on ownership. On the basis of ownership, resources can be classified into 4 types. 1. Individual. 2. Community. 3. National. And 4. International. 1. Individual resources. These resources are owned by individuals or groups, for example, land owned by an individual, a family, or groups of people employed in companies. 2. Community-owned resources. Adivasis do not believe in private ownership of land, forests, and water bodies. They consider these resources as owned by the community. Some other examples of these types of resources are public land, parks, playgrounds, and panchayat ghars in urban and rural areas. These resources are accessible to people living in the area and even to outsiders. 3. National resources. These resources are owned by the government. In the past, all land, water, and other natural resources were considered to be owned by the king, emperor, or the ruler. Even today, the government owns such resources of public utility like rivers, railways, irrigation canals, roads, and buildings. 4. International resources. These resources are owned by international institutions like the United Nations or other regional international organizations. Beyond the territorial waters, oceans are often treated as open. These oceanic resources beyond 200 kilometers of exclusive economic zone belong to many nations. For example, India can extract petroleum from the bed of Indian Ocean within the economic zone. Beyond this zone, it will have to seek the approval of international community to initiate such ventures as well as utilize the resources of the open ocean. Development of resources. The development of resources proceeds in stages. Even when the location of resources is identified, exploitation does not start and end all of a sudden. Some important stages in the development of resources are: 1. Potential resources. It is total quantity of a particular mineral or resources existing in nature. Such quantities are determined by surveys. 2. Actual resources. These resources are those that have been surveyed and their reserves properly determined for actual use. 3. Reserve. It is that portion of potential resources which can be exploited and developed economically in stages. It is possible to convert a resource into a reserve using technology. Reserves are like actual deposits from which withdrawals can be made. The development of these resources proceeds in 3 stages. A. Survey. It is used in finding the location of resources. It is followed by exploration. B. Mining. The method of extraction of mineral resources from under the ground is called mining. C. Ore. Minerals or their combinations are found in beds or seams, which are called ores. We obtain metals and non-metals from ores. Factors contributing the development of resources. We have already studied about the factors affecting the use of resources. They contribute to higher economic growth by raising efficiency and enhancing the productivity. Factors that contribute to higher productivity and economic growth are as follows. Human resources. Human resources are the most important ingredients. The development and conservation of resources. It is only through training, knowledge, productivity, better health, education, higher expectation of life at birth and human skills that we can make better use of other resources. Technology. meaning the best way to do or make things, is an important contributor to enhanced productivity. Self-governing institutions, especially democratic institutions like the Panchayati Raj institutions, encourage workers at grassroots level to raise productivity. Stability and peace, workers feel free to move around in a peaceful environment. In absence of fear and uncertainty, the workers are more focused on raising the production. Free market economy. In recent years, India has gradually thrown market to international competition. It exposes the farmers and workers to higher standards of work and raising their productivity. Conservation. Conservation does not prohibit human beings from making use of resources, it rather demands man's foresight to use the resources wisely. The main aim of conservation is to ensure survival of life in all its forms and variety. Therefore, conservation of natural resources is necessary and meant to preserve resources for future generations. As there exists close relationships between plants and animals and the environment in which they live, the concern for the health of the environment is also a goal of conservation. Several measures have been taken for the conservation of biotic and abiotic resources. These include enactment of rules and regulations, involvement of non-governmental organizations, creation of specially protected areas like biosphere reserves, national parks and wildlife sanctuaries, about which we shall learn later. The United Nations is also promoting international trade under the concept of globalization. Through the development of trade and commerce, wide dispersal and judicious utilization of resources is promoted. Sustainable development and the role of the United Nations. United Nations is today concerned with many global issues on conservation. The Second Earth Summit was held in September 2002 in Johannesburg, in South Africa. Appropriately titled World Summit on Sustainable Development, WSSD, it focused on economic development for regeneration of resources. The United Nations sponsored the first Earth Summit in 1992 at Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Its theme was Environment and Development. The conference turned out to be the largest congregation of world leaders in history. It resulted in some binding treaties to reduce pollution in order to prevent global warming. The concept of sustainable development was evolved and given shape at this conference. It was described as a type of economic development which could ensure growth not only under present conditions but future as well. The main principles of sustainable development are respect and care for all forms of life to achieve a dynamic equilibrium. Improve and raise the quality of human life to remove present imbalances. Natural ecosystems have enormous ability to withstand shocks, and it is important to conserve the Earth's vitality and diversity. It is essential to minimize the depletion of natural resources to avoid possibility of a catastrophe. Such attitudes and practices towards environment should be changed, as they are detrimental to environment as well as our health and vitality. Local communities must be enabled to play participatory roles and take care of their own environment. All these suggestions for effective planning of resources ensure sustainable development. They also help to avoid or control some disasters like famine, diseases and war. The Convention on Biodiversity was signed at this conference. It helped the member nations, including India, to evolve national conservation strategy. Distinction between sustainable development and economic development. Sustainable development, economic development. 1. It refers to change in amount, composition. 1. It refers to exploitation of natural resources at a rate not above that of their. 2. It is governed by demand and supply. 2. It is governed by concern for protection and preservation of environment. 3. It only refers to human progress. 3. It is based on respect and care for all forms of life. Keywords: resources, anything which can use to meet and satisfy our needs. Reserve, a portion of potential resources which can be developed and exploited commercially. Conservation, preservation, protection and efficient use of resources. Biosphere reserves, large protected areas where plants and animals are allowed to grow in their natural surrounding. Let's revise. Continuous review. The materials which help us to satisfy our needs are called resources. The level of economic development and the quality of life depends on an efficient and wise use of resources. On the basis of origin, resources can be classified into natural and human resources. Natural resources are of two types: biotic and abiotic. On the basis of renewability, resources can be classified into renewable and non-renewable. The sustainable development should consider the need of the present and future generations.
Like, share and subscribe.